Judge Analisa Torres has once again denied Ripple and the SEC's joint motion to vacate a permanent injunction and reduce Ripple's penalty. While that ruling delays resolution of the years-long legal battle, it sparked an unexpected and controversial theory that the U.S. government could be positioned to acquire Ripple's $37 billion XRP held in escrow. This argument is coming from Brad Kimes, founder of XRPLasVegas and the channel Digital Perspectives. Kimes believes Judge Torres' decision may have opened a legal pathway, intentionally or not, for the U.S. government to step in as a buyer of Ripple's escrowed tokens, potentially using them to create a national crypto reserve. Let's break this down, starting with the court ruling. On Thursday, Judge Torres rejected Ripple and the SEC's second attempt at an indicative ruling. The parties wanted to vacate the injunction against Ripple and reduce the penalty from $125 million to $50 million, citing what they called exceptional circumstances. But Torres stood firm. She ruled their arguments were not enough to override the court's final judgment. In her own words, any relief must come through an appeal to the Second Circuit. With that, the case remains unresolved and enters yet another legal holding pattern. Now, back to the speculation. Brad Kimes interprets this legal deadlock as more than just delay. In his analysis, the ruling sets up a possible path for the U.S. government to intervene, not in a regulatory sense, but as a direct acquirer of XRP from Ripple's escrow. According to Kimes, this would serve as the foundation for a U.S. national crypto asset reserve. It's a dramatic idea, and it's not entirely new in XRP circles. The concept of the U.S. adopting XRP as part of its strategic reserves has been floated before, but mostly in online forums and speculative threads. What's different now is that someone like Kimes is tying it directly to Judge Torres' actions and making the case that federal interests could play a role in changing the outcome of this lawsuit. Kimes and others suggest that if ongoing litigation were to pose a threat to U.S. financial or diplomatic priorities, the court could be pressured, legally or politically, to reconsider its position. That might include vacating rulings or fast-tracking a more favorable resolution. But let's step back and look at this critically. At present, there is no official indication that the U.S. government plans to buy XRP or any crypto assets beyond Bitcoin, which is already held in small amounts by a few government entities as a result of legal seizures. There's also no precedent for a government forming a national reserve based on a private company's token, especially one still tied to active litigation. More importantly, Ripple's escrowed XRP, valued at roughly $100 billion, is not something the company is likely to hand over without full compensation. The notion that Ripple would part with a third of the total XRP supply in exchange for regulatory peace is highly unlikely. For comparison, Ripple is currently asking the court to reduce its fine by just $75 million. A $100 billion handoff would be disproportionate to any settlement negotiations seen so far. There's also the issue of centralization. If the U.S. government were to hold such a large portion of XRP, it would raise serious concerns across the crypto industry. XRP has always faced scrutiny over centralization, and a state-controlled stash of this size could provoke backlash not just from investors, but also from competing blockchain networks and privacy advocates. So, what can we realistically take from all this? Brad Kimes' theory is provocative, and it's tapping into broader anxieties and hopes about XRP's role in future financial systems. But at this point, it remains speculation. The U.S. government has shown no public interest in acquiring XRP, and Ripple has given no indication that it would entertain such a deal. Judge Torres' ruling may have preserved the legal status quo, but it hasn't cleared a path for government acquisition. It has, however, reignited conversations about what a strategic resolution to this long-running case could look like, and who might benefit from it. Let me know what you think. Could a U.S. government-backed XRP reserve ever be realistic? Or is this just another layer of XRP fantasy? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more updates on XRP, Ripple, and the legal battles shaping the future of crypto. See you in the next one.